Why automation feels intimidating. When most people hear the word automation, their mind immediately goes somewhere extreme. They don't picture something simple or supportive. They picture robots, like machines taking over, decisions being made without them, things happening in the background that they don't fully understand, and that instantly creates fear. Because no one wants to feel replaced or sidelined in their own business. Can we have an honest conversation about automation for a second? Because for something that's meant to make life easier, it feels weirdly overwhelming for a lot of people. And if your business feels heavier than it should right now, this video might explain why. Automation gets lumped into this category of this is only for very technical people. People imagine complicated dashboards, confusing tools, endless settings, and the feeling that if something breaks, they won't know how to fix it. So instead of feeling helpful, automation feels like another thing they will have to learn, manage, and stress about. The next fear is losing control. This one is huge. People worry that once something is automated, it's no longer theirs. They think, what if something goes wrong and I don't notice? Or what if it sends the wrong message? There is a fear of handing over responsibility, even if that responsibility is currently exhausting them. And finally, there is the fear of losing personal touch. This is especially common for service based businesses. People worry automation will make their business feel cold, generic, or transactional. They think, I don't want my clients to feel like just another number. I built this business on relationships. And that fear makes complete sense. But here's the important part. None of these fears come from automation itself. They come from bad experiences, poor explanations, and systems built without humans in mind. Good automation doesn't remove humanity, it protects it. It takes care of the background work so you can show up more present, more calm, and more connected where it actually matters. Most people don't avoid automation because they don't want help. They avoid it because they think it will take something away from them. This belief alone creates resistance before we can even start. Let me simplify what automation actually is, because this is where the biggest misunderstanding happens. Automation is about removing friction, and that's it. It's not about making your business robotic or complicated. It's about to take something out of your day that interrupts your focus and drain your energy. Think of friction as all those tiny moments where your flow gets broken. And this is important. Automation is not replacing humans. Humans are still the heart of your business. You still make decisions, you still build relationships, you still bring empathy, creativity, and judgment. Automation just handles the parts that don't need human emotions or intelligence. It's also not removing creativity. In fact, it usually does the opposite. When your brain isn't busy remembering what to send, who to follow up with, or where something is saved, it finally has space to think creatively and problem solve of your everyday tasks and connect properly with people. And automation definitely isn't about making things cold. Cold comes from rushed responses, forgotten messages, and inconsistency, not from systems. Good automation actually creates consistency, and consistency feels reassuring with clients. Now, let's make this really real with examples. Think about repeating emails. If you are manually sending the same welcome message, the same onboarding details, or the same confirmation emails again and again and again, that's not personal, that's repetitive admin. Automation sends it instantly every time with the same care, and you get to show up personally where it actually matters. Then there is chasing follow ups. How many times have you thought, I need to remember to follow up with the person, and then carried that mental note around all day? Automation removes that mental weight. It nudges people at the right time so you don't have to be the one constantly remembering. Then here comes the copy pasting information is another big one. Moving data from one place to another isn't a skill, it's a task. And it's exactly the kind of thing that pulls you out of deeper work. Automation handles that quietly in the background, accurately and consistently. And finally, remembering tiny admin tasks. This is the sneaky one. Booking confirmations, reminders, file naming, status updates. Individually, they seem small, collectively, they exhaust you. Automation takes those tiny tasks off your mental load so your brain can finally rest. So, when you think about automation, don't think robots. Think less interruption, less mental clutter, more calm, and more presence. That's what good automation is actually doing. These aren't high value human tasks, they're energy drains. Automation quietly supports you in the background. And do you know why your business feels heavy for you? If your business feels heavy, it's really because you're lazy or unmotivated. This is the part most people don't talk about because it's invisible. It's not the workload itself that drains you, it's the mental load. Mental load is everything you're carrying in your head all day long. It's remembering who you need to reply to, what still needs sending, what hasn't been followed up on, what you can't forget to do later. Your brain is constantly running in the background, even when you're not actively working. Then there is a decision fatigue. Every small decision costs energy. Should I reply now or later? Did I already send that? What comes next after this task? Do I need to remind them again? By the time you get to the important decisions, the ones that actually move your business forward, your brain is already tired. That's when things start feeling heavy. And this leads to something called silent burnout. Silent burnout doesn't look like collapse or overwhelm. It looks like losing enthusiasm, feeling flat, procrastinating more than usual, feeling busy out unfulfilled. You're still functioning, you're still showing up, but you're drained and you don't always know why. And one of the biggest contributors to this is constant remembering. Your business lives in your head. You are the reminder system. You are the follow up system. You are the process. That means your brain never fully switches off. Because if you forget, things fall through. That's exhausting. And the worst part, most people blame themselves. They think they need to be more organized, more disciplined, more productive. But the problem isn't you, is that your brain is doing work it was never meant to do. This is exactly where systems come in. Not to replace you, but to hold the weight with you. To remember so you don't have to guide so you're not constantly deciding, to create structure so your energy is protected. Because when your mind has space, everything else improves. Your focus, your creativity, and even how you show up for people. Most burnout doesn't look dramatic. It looks like feeling tired before you even start. This is where everything starts to compound and why things feel harder over time instead of easier. Manual repetition compounds stress because every repeated task adds another small demand on your brain. Sending the same message again, updating the same information in multiple places, checking the same things every day. On their own, these tasks seem harmless, but when you repeat them day after day, they stack up mentally and emotionally. Your stress isn't coming from one big problem, it's coming from hundreds of small interruptions. And over time, that constant repetition trains your nervous system to stay in a low level state of urgency. Then there is effort without system. This is where a lot of hardworking people get stuck. They are putting in genuine effort, long hours, focus, commitment, But without systems, every action still depends on them personally. That means progress stops. When you stop, growth feels fragile, time off feels stressful. You're not just working in the business, you are holding the entire structure together. That's why effort alone eventually exhausts you. Not because effort is bad, but because it's being used inefficiently. Now, here's the shift. Systems multiply effort. A system allows one action to create ongoing impact. You do the thinking once, you set the process once, and it works repeatedly, consistently, without needing your constant attention. Same effort suddenly produces more results. That's when work starts to feel lighter, not heavier. You're no longer pushing uphill every day. You're building something that supports your back. And this is important to understand. Systems don't make you lazy, they make you sustainable. They protect your energy, your focus, your long-term motivation. Because when effort is supported by systems, growth stop feels like a struggle and starts feeling intentional. Systems don't replace effort, they replace your energy. There's one big myth I wish we would stop believing. Automation makes business cold and impersonal. And that's because of the belief that bad chatbots, generic emails, over automation. But the truth is, bad automation feels cold, good automation creates space for presence. This is the distinction that changes everything. Systems handle logistics and human handle empathy. Logistics handle things like sending confirmation, scheduling reminders, collecting information, organizing data, moving things from one place to another. These tasks don't require emotional intelligence. They require consistency and accuracy. And that's exactly what systems are good at. Humans, on the other hand, are irreplaceable when it comes to listening, understanding, responding, and building trust, reading between the lines. That's empathy, and that can't be automated. When people try to use humans for logistics and empathy at the same time, something suffers. Usually it's presence. Because when your mind is half occupied with remembering what needs to happen next, you're not fully present in the moment you're in. This is why presence improves when admin disappears. When systems quietly handle the background work, you're not distracted during conversations. You're not rushing replies. You're not mentally juggling tasks while listening. You can actually slow down. And clients feel that. They don't notice the automation, but they notice the calm. They notice the clarity. They notice the attention. That's what makes interactions feel personal. Ironically, businesses often become more human once the admin is automated because the humans finally have space to show up fully. So, automation doesn't remove connection, it protects it. And when empathy is supported by systems instead of competing with them, the entire experience improves for you and for the people you serve. So when you step back and look at all of this together, a pattern starts to emerge. Automation isn't the problem. AI isn't the problem. Systems are not the problem. The problem is when humans are expected to carry everything, the thinking, the remembering, the logistics, and the empathy all at the same time. That's not sustainable. Your brain was never meant to be a task manager. It was meant to think, create, connect, and decide. When systems take care of the background work, your mind gets quieter. Your focus improves, your energy comes back, your presence deepens. And that's when work starts to feel lighter. Not because you're doing less, but because you're doing things with support. So if automation has ever felt cold, overwhelming, or intimidating to you, I want you to hear this clearly. It's not because you're not technical enough. It's not because you're behind. It's because automation hasn't been framed in a human first way. Good systems don't take control away from you. they give it back. If any part of this video resonated, even just a little, take that as information. It might be a sign that your business doesn't need more effort. It might just need better support. I'm always happy to talk systems, automation, or even just help you think things through. You can drop me a message, leave a comment. Thanks for spending this time with me, and remember, your business should work with you, not against you.